Okay, people, welcome back to the match reaction. Welcome back to Normski TV. And boy, what have we just witnessed today? All I got to say, thank you, Raya. Thank God for Raya, mate. And not only that, a massive VAR decision going Arsenal's way. This game was crazy. This game was crazy in that last 90 plus minutes injury time, and we'll talk about it. We'll get into the game. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't even see the Trossard goal because I was called away for another errand. Because of that, I could hear the kids making a load of noise, and I was thinking, "Oh my gosh, I got to keep it." Because I was on a Zoom meeting, so I had to keep my face straight. But people. I saw the goal obviously after when they were talking about it with the pundits and that. So I saw the goal that was set up with Odegaard. And well done, Odegaard. You come on and you made a difference. Thank you very much. But let's get into the game. Let's get into the starting lineup and who started them. And it's essentially Mikel Arteta went with the same, pretty much the same lineup as he did in the Champions League, with Raya in goal, Benjamin White at right back, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori at left back. And then we had Declan Rice, Eze, Miles Lewis Skelly in the midfield, Saka on the right, Trossard on the left, and Victor Gokres up front. And, that first 20 minutes of that game, we should have put West Ham to bed. We should have put that game to bed. The amount of chances that we had in that first half. I'm looking at the stats. We had, I think, 4 shots on targets in total. We had 15 shots in total. 15 shots in total. 4 shots on target. 64% possession. And in that first 20 minutes, we should have put the glove on them, and we could have scored 2 or 3 goals. And then we started to kind of, West Ham started to kind of get into the game. And I think where it really changed for us, was when Ben White gets injured. And I'm just going to look at the point in which I think he came off, because this all happened like in the first half. I think it was in the 28th minute. Zubamendi. Now, can somebody tell me, when I saw this substitution, I was saying to myself, what's Arteta doing? Is he really going to mess? Is he really going to mess this title up? Ben White bottles out a challenge, injures himself. It looks like he's got some problem with his knees. He looked like he's got a knee brace on. They showed him coming out of the West Ham ground stadium with a knee brace. That could be the end of his I'm not saying his career, but it's going to be the end of his season by the looks of it. This guy, looks like to the same knee, another injury. But why are you pulling out? But this is what I didn't get, people. I didn't get the substitution. I'm thinking that Arteta is going to bring on Mascara. Right? I'm thinking he's going to bring Mascara on at right back and just leave everything as it is. He's bringing on Supermendy. So I'm thinking, well, who is he? What's going on here? Is he taking off Miles Lewis? What's he doing? Where's Miles Lewis Skelly going to play? Is he playing at right back? What's going on? That man decides that he's going to do a Thomas party and put our best number 6 at right back. We lost all impetus in that midfield. The game started to swing West Ham's way. You saw Somerville. You saw what's it? The player that plays at their left back. Let me find out what the player that plays at their left back. I can't remember his name now for the life of me. Diouf. Yeah, going down that left hand side. Declan Rice could hardly run. He could hardly run because it's a lot of work getting up and down. And we know already that not Ben White, Declan Rice is absolutely trashed into the ground. And you decide that you're going to play this geezer at right back. We lose all impetus in that midfield. The legs gone. You brought Zimmermendi on there. What did this guy do? Gets pressed, passing the ball backwards, giving away unnecessary fouls. I was confused. I was absolutely confused. I was like, what, why are you trying to be clever at this stage of the league competition? Why are you trying to be clever? I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. My God. Well, anyway, look, we get through it's 0-0, and you're thinking, right, we've got to get a goal. So I'm thinking, I don't know if we're going to score. It really didn't look like we're going to score because what started to happen, we, after that 20-minute spell, we reverted back to tight. Raya, foot on the ball. And let me tell you this now, Raya, absolutely, you have to be the player of the season for Arsenal. Definitely. You have saved us. You have saved us. That massive save that you made before, I think it was like the 70-odd minute, where you made that massive save. Right, you spread your body wide. I can't even remember who the player was. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Raya has saved us again. But let me get back to the defense and the whole thing of Arteta messing around with the defense and trying to be clever. So we go in at halftime, comes out, and I think after I don't know if he made a change straight away after halftime. I think it was after a minute. Ricardo Calafiori comes up. Now he brings on Mosquera. Right, so okay. So he's brought on Mosquera. He's put Declan Rice back in midfield and played Miles Lewis Skelly out left. Now, Miles Lewis Skelly out the left hand side was not as productive as when he's playing in midfield. Do you know what I mean? And so all of a sudden now, they're getting right. They're getting drawn down the right hand side. You're getting Bowie now going down. Wan-Bissaka. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Then you're just thinking, Arteta, why are you messing this up? Why are you messing this up? Why are you messing it up? Anyway, the game goes on. The game goes on, and you're thinking, as I said, where Raya made that massive save. Yeah, he made that massive save, and I'm thinking, I can't remember who the player was who just went through in our area. I think I don't know if Saliba missed the tackle or whatever, and Raya just makes himself big, Sky Marco style. You know what I mean? And blocks a shot, and this was before us getting that goal. Then he makes some changes. He brings on Odegaard for Eze, which Eze didn't have a good game. Saka, absolutely, you did not do nothing. You didn't offer nothing in that game. You and Eze didn't play well, but Saka especially did not play well in that game. Okay? And he's realised his mistake because at that point now, he brings on Odegaard and he brings on Kai Havertz at the same time, thinking, oh no, oh no, oh no. Is he going to take Goppers off? No, surprisingly not. So he's playing Havertz kind of like in that 10 and Odegaard as like an 8. So you've now got Vic Glockers who's up front, hardly had a touch of the ball, wasn't his best game. And you're thinking, is this goal going to come? And as I said, I didn't see the goal, but I heard the rockers next door. And I said to myself, they've scored. It looks like we've scored. And I saw something flash on my phone and said, Trossard scored. I'm thinking, oh my gosh. I didn't do that, but obviously I couldn't because I was online. I'm thinking, right, how long to go now? Do you know what I mean? And once the meeting finished, I got back in to see like the when the goal that Callum Wilson scored. Now this is the big talking point. There was so much wrestling going on in that box. You had Declan Rice, our older Mavropanos, Tatibo was grabbing hold of Raya, pulling it back. You saw it. Then you had Pablo, his arm across like his chest. Now look, People, I've seen people on my WhatsApp status and on WhatsApp groups saying that Arsenal have got away with this. And yes, we have got away with it. Yes, we have got away. And who's it down to? VAR and the referees. Because you have intervened, VAR have intervened and said, is it a clear and obvious mistake decision? Is it clear and obvious? They've intervened. This is a massive, massive decision. Now, it is a foul on the keeper, 100%. But there was so many other stuffs going on. But these two guys in the VAR room, I don't know if they wanted to make the decision. So he's given he's given the goal. He's pointed to he's pointed to the centre circle. So he's Kavanagh is given the goal. And I'm thinking to myself, oh no. Then all of a sudden they started to review it. And I was thinking, wow, are they going to give this or not? And they kept playing it over. And I think he went over, obviously, he went over to the screen and apparently he viewed it something like 17 times. That's what Sky was saying. He viewed it 17 times. And I was thinking, right, this is it. This is the massive decision. He's waving away the players, the West Ham players. He's waving them away. Arsenal players, he's waving away. And he's come. Because normally, once they do that and then point, you know, they've given the goal. He pauses and I'm thinking, right, he's now going to say there was an infringement somewhere. And he says that the number 19, which is Pablo, was the one that was infringing David Raya from stopping him from jumping. But also, you got to remember, Tadeo was pulling also his shirt. So there was so much grappling going on. Now, some fans are going to say, oh, Declan Rice, you know, was old on Mavropanos. What's his name? Pushed, Trossard pushed, what's the name, into Raya. So many different connotations that was happening in that thing. And they have to get to grips with this. They have to get to grips with it. And one thing they need to do is VAR have to be consistent because they have not been consistent throughout the year. There's loads of stuff that have gone for us and there's loads of stuff that have gone against us. But at the end of the day, I can't go through that again. I cannot go through it. But let me tell you something. When that decision was made, that was like a dagger in Pep's and some of those Man City's hearts because they must have thinking, we're back. Were we lucky? Some can say yes, we are. Some might say no, we wasn't. Was it an infringement? Was it a foul? Yes, it was. We're going to argue this until the cows come home. We know other people, other fans. They even did a poll, and the poll came out. I think it was like 60 to 40 or 60 something to 30 odd percent. 30 odd percent said the goal, the goal shouldn't have stood, and the other 60 odd percent said it should have. So it might be all the ops out there saying that, but this will be talked about. You can guarantee this will be talked about on Ref Watch. This will be talked about on Ref Watch. All right. I'll tell you guys, you Arsenal, you put me through the ringer today. But Arteta, you need to sort out your in-game management and your tactics. Why you are deciding that you're going to go and put Declan Rice at right back was the wrong move. You had to rectify the problem, but it could have so badly gone wrong. Yes, we've done it. Fair play. We've done it. But it could have gone wrong. It could have gone wrong. But we got it over the line, and people say, oh, Signs are champions and all of that. Listen, City won yesterday. Doku on fire, 3-0, puts the pressure on us. Now the pressure is now back on City. We're now 5 points clear, 2 goals difference in our goal difference. We have to make sure next week, Monday, that we put Burnley to the sword. And it ain't gonna be straight. Let me tell you this now. It will not be straightforward. Thinking that, oh, we're just gonna rock up at the stadium in the last game of the stadium at the Emirates, last game of the season. If by any chance City drop points against Crystal Palace this Wednesday, draw or lose, I don't think they will. I think they will win that game. We have to do our job against Burnley. We have to do our job against Burnley. City will play 3 games in 7 days. They're going to play Crystal Palace on the Wednesday. They're going to play their FA Cup final against Chelsea on a Saturday. And then on Tuesday, they're going to go away to Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are fighting for a Champions League spot. They won yesterday against Fulham, and points were dropped by Aston Villa. So they're looking and thinking, you know what? We're going to chase this down. And if anywhere where we're going to see points dropped by Man City, maybe away to Bournemouth. Then we play Crystal Palace last game of the season. I want I want us to be doing a guard of honor needs to be happening at Crystal Palace, because we need to just do what we need to do, and hopefully, um, you know, City, you know, drop off somewhere. If it's in the Crystal Palace game, which I don't think it will be, but the Bournemouth game is probably the likely place where they may slip up. What a game, guys! What a game! David Raya, thank God for you, man. Thank God for you, because I'm telling you, you made a big save in that game. And if it was not for that save before we scored, I think West Ham would have protected that 1-0 lead, because they played five at the back. You know, they played their wing backs in Diouf and they played their wing backs in terms of Wan-Bissaka, and they played. I think it was Diouf as the other wing back. So they played at three at the back, and Diouf and that was bobbing up and down. So they were going to protect that, and up until the 83rd minute, you're thinking, bro, are we going to score today? Yeah, you had people saying, "Oh, we're going to batter them West Ham 3-0." They're fighting for their lives. And sorry, West Ham, that we had to beat you today, but we needed to get the job done. Let's hope that Leeds do something tomorrow against Tottenham. There's still a chance, but a very, very slim chance. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. But we go into that game. But, I say, Godquez didn't play well. Saka didn't play well. Eze didn't play well. Trossard, for me, it has to be David Raya yet again for man of the match. Trossard came up with the just goods, an assist for Martin Odegaard. Havertz come on, didn't really do anything. None, same kind of thing. But we saw pretty much the game through, apart from that massive, massive decision in the 90 plus minutes injury time. And it was a massive VAR decision. People are going to argue this with, content creators, you name it. Pundits alike will be talking about this and talking about how Arsenal, Sky Michael's come out and sort of said that if it was for the fact that Arsenal got away with a lot of these decisions, they would not be top of the league. And maybe he has a point. He maybe has a point. But at the end of the day, it's got to be down to the referees. They've got to make sure that they're refereeing this. Do you know what I'm saying? Decisions go our way, decisions don't go our way. Do you know what I mean? People talk about the Man City game yesterday, that there should have been a red card with Bernard Silva. The foul, the last man, I can't remember who it was, getting pulled down or pushed down, and he should have got sent off, or it should have penalty should have been given. It is what it is. Yeah, I didn't moan about it yesterday. I didn't moan. It is what it is. We've got to go and do our bit, and we've done our bit today. We made it hard, and that is the problem. These next two games, Arteta, please. And when we play Burnley at the Emirates, let's just go for the jugular. Don't sit back because look, Burnley are free spirits right now. They don't care. They're down, so they've got nothing to lose. So they're just going to come and play their football. What we need to do is make sure that we put them to the sword. Put them to the sword. Build up that goal difference, 3-4 goals, so that if by any chance it does go down to the last day and it's goal difference, then we've got that little cushion. But let's hope that Bournemouth does something, or even Crystal Palace does something. So listen, it's going to be a knock for Man City. Do you know what I mean? Because they must have thought, oh, wow, last minute dagger. But it was not a last minute dagger for us. It was a last minute dagger for the Blues, City Blues. It was a last minute dagger for them. They end up seeing this massive VAR decision go for Arsenal. And it's going to be talked about. I can guarantee you this. But listen, people, you know what I mean? I went for the ringer today. I went absolutely through the ringer today. Look, come and check me out. I'm moving the show. Unfortunately, I've got to move the show, the What's Going On podcast show. Normally, I have it on Wednesday at 6:30, but I'm moving it to the Thursday. I'll be letting the guys know. I'll be moving it to the Thursday at 6:30. I will be this Thursday and also the following Thursday because I've got two engagements on the Wednesday. So this Wednesday, the show won't be happening, but it will be happening on the Thursday. And then the following Wednesday, it won't be happening. It will be happening on the following Thursday. So basically, this Thursday and next Thursday will be the What's Going On podcast. So come and check us out there. We will have a lot to talk about. I see guys on my What's Going On podcast chat, you know what I mean, saying, robbed, cheated, and all of that. So we will be talking about that. I can guarantee we were talking about that on Thursday. So come and check me out on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. on the What's Going On podcast show, where we're going to discuss all things Arsenal, the league, the relegation battles, top four battles, and all of that. Come and check me out, and hopefully we'll have some people on. Listen, guys, hit the like button, subscribe and share if you're new, and I'll see you on the next match reaction. Take care, and God bless.